Google link it and do all that stuff, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
I gotta
guys.
get on that.
Hey,
William,
How you doing? How you doing?
we're just warming up the crowd for you, man. They're nice and
I
live
appreciate
tonight,
it.
I'll tell you.
Nice and live.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, like a cemetery.
Hey, William, did you see that update to Bright Local?
I have not. I'm just going through about 100 something damn emails. So
They actually added the mapping exactly like Viking, and also
yeah, that I'd seen someone had sent that, and I knew that was in the works, but I didn't know they actually pushed it out finally.
Have you
Yeah.
used it, Sean? I saw the email, but I didn't like look at it to see how it worked.
I used it. It worked really well.
Awesome.
And they, in the agency plan of $79, you get 2,000 credits.
Okay.
And I did 11 by 11. I think that's what you normally do, right, William?
Yeah, I do
think
13 by 13 actually, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it worked really well. So
Good.
I started doing it for a few clients already. I'm super psyched. I was about to dump it.
yeah, I won't,
Um,
I haven't touched them, so I just don't mess with them. But
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say Bright Local's now doing like local Viking kind of stuff? Because I have Bright Local, I just hardly ever log into it.
They just came out with it within the last couple of days.
Oh, that's
I got
awesome.
the email and I got it and I haven't looked at it to review it, but it looks like Sean has.
Anthony, it looks like I tried it. Oh my gosh. I was super excited. It was like a kid in a candy store. I just literally jumped in and started using it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope it works like local Falcon or local Viking.
Yeah, well, that's from what I can see, it does. So, but I'm gonna give William access and see what he thinks of it.
yeah, if you want to
Nice.
send me, email me that over, and what I'll probably do is you want to do, today is Friday, tomorrow's Ask Me Anything, but we might just, maybe I'll, instead of doing Ask Me Anything, we'll do a review of Bright Local.
Yeah, I'll share my screen and go through the whole thing if you like, and you can take
Yep.
control.
No, you could share the whole thing and do the whole thing if you want to, even so, go through it. But
Hey,
yeah,
William, local Viking versus lead generated, any pros and cons?
honestly, but local Viking versus lead generated, I'm only waiting on one thing to happen, and once that happens, I'm dumping local Viking. Local Viking, I don't use. But local Falcon. Once he pushes everything out, I'm dumping everything but lead generated. And the only reason we'll do the Bright Local and I'll show you the differences. But for example, with lead generated, me as an agency, let's say even a sales rep or anything, you could go, for example, I could run a heat map and I could show someone, here's where you're at. Here's where your competition's at, all in one map, and I can flip it. And I can do all that. And then I can add their lead into my back end, and I can do nurturing through an email campaign with lead generated. So without having to do multiple platforms, multiple anything, it's just all in one place. So for me, that's why I like lead generated all together without having any other platforms whatsoever. For example, high level's very good. Lead generated is like high level, but when they come out with these new features, in my mind, they're probably going to blow high level out the water. The only thing high level really has is going to be, if you will, all the other things such as website generation, stuff like that. If high level ever adds in some of this local Falcon, local Viking stuff, and maybe switches their platform over to WordPress, I might switch over to high level. But the only reason I also tell people I don't use platforms such as high level, clicks, and all this other place for agencies is because you're putting all of your clients' websites on someone else's platform. And if you ever F them over or don't pay a bill or they decide to fall off planet Earth, then guess what? You're fucked. So that's just my 2 cents on it. today we're going to be talking about news, press releases, all that jazz. Not yet on lead generated because he is actually coming out with a new rebranding and all that jazz. And then once he does, he's going to come on here, do a demo, and then give y'all a good offer. So Bright Local tomorrow, and with Sean and me, and then as usual, we'll do Ask Me Anything. You know, you don't have to send in your questions because my mailbox is full enough, but just, you know, write down your questions, et cetera, et cetera. And I have started, I ain't sending any of this out to anybody, but if you get a request, just know it is me. I've started, sorry, a new Facebook account, which I am accessing from my hometown, Jacksonville, Florida, because I have a nice little MacBook set up in my friend's house over there. So I'm going to see if it's just the Philippines or if they just utterly hate me at my butt altogether. But we'll see. Once I know for a fact, then I'm going to start using it again. But right now, I'm not really using it too much. Let me shut down some of these windows, and then we're going to open up some windows and go through Quantum with y'all. I'm going to go through Quantum. Then I'm also going to show you how to do a press release. And then I have a list of websites where you can also do other press releases if you don't have Quantum. Obviously, there are benefits to using Quantum versus not using Quantum and using someone else, which I'm pretty sure Lane went over most of that yesterday or the day before. But for those of you that don't have Quantum and can't afford Quantum, or don't work with an agency that uses Quantum, then there are free websites and there are non-free websites. And we'll go through all those and the benefits and different things. Any questions before we get started? Make sure ground rules are stay muted unless you raise your hand. Otherwise, you're going to tick off the angry old men. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? I'll take 3 or 4 before we begin. Otherwise, I'm going to start. Okay, let's go. So this is my new Quantum. The one Quantum I was using for someone else before, and they no longer are a client. I got turned on through Quantum through them, right? And so this is a brand new, fresh Quantum. You're not going to see anything in here. So we're going to do someone from scratch, right? So that means y'all get to see me actually set up a client. If you've never used it, if you've never set up a client, this is going to help you figure out how to do it yourself. So we're going to create a press release from scratch. You just go, once you log in, you'll go up here, create press release, right? From scratch, or you can have them write it for you. If you have them write it for you, they charge you. I could go in here, edit my agency information. Y'all get to see me do all this stuff now. Yes, I actually live in the Philippines, believe it or not.
How do you
No
like the
data.
Philippines while you're typing in?
I love it. I would not live anywhere else, especially with everything I see going on over in the States. Keep the States.
Yeah. Why? Everything's peachy green right here.
No, I moved over here and I have a lot of people. I mean, I could give y'all the backstory of a bunch of stuff if you want. Believe it or not, we used to live over in the States. My wife and me, this is going to get a little bit personal, but we're actually Muslim. I was not Muslim at one point. So you got a good old country Southern boy who reverted to Islam, right? And we're over in the States. There's some things I've experienced in the States that I've not experienced elsewhere. So I'll give you all my story. And one of which my wife does dress covered, or did dress more covered back then. And I'm trying to do this and talk at the same time. So nevertheless, we were in the States. This is when we lived down in Florida. I love Florida with fish and all that jazz down there. Is where I was born and raised. And so there are things we experience where they're there. She'd be walking down the street and, you know, she's dark skinned already. And I'm white skin, obviously very white. At the time, my beard was like down to here. If you ever seen any of my old pictures, I have the beard down to like the middle of my chest. And she got screamed at, yelled at, told her, go back to your effing country, all this stuff. Right. But if they saw me with her, they would never say nothing. And so we got to experience that. And I've experienced it not just through that, but through other things. And I know different people fear what they don't understand. You know, just stuff. Right. So that's not really what made us move. Then I moved to West Virginia. West Virginia, I adore. You know, for me, West Virginia was like, you know, for instance, if they don't like you in West Virginia, I'm going to say, listen, like this, Sean, I don't like your ass. But you know what? We get along. You know, and no big deal. They're going to hate you to your face, or they'll like you to your face. And then another one they'll do as well, which I like, is they go, for instance, in West Virginia, I might not like you, but you're West Virginian. That's all I know. You're from West Virginia. You're cool. In West Virginia, I was expecting, because you're in the middle of the woods in the country, I was expecting more, if you will, racism, if you will, more hatred, if you will. And we went into places, I'll just give you an example. This is where my mind was blown when I saw a lot of this. Because you imagine country boys walking around, guns on their side, good old country boys. And you walk in and your wife's wearing a niqab or hijab and you're Muslim. And you have one of the good old country boys go up there and say, ma'am, can I get you a seat? And I never experienced that till I went to West Virginia. The only thing I experienced down in like Northeast Florida or in that neck of the woods was fear more than anything. So when I moved over to the Philippines, you know, it was totally different. I don't ever, I have a lot of people that be like, you know, well, I won't go to the Philippines because of this. And they fear, because in the Southern Philippines, you do have radicals. And I live near the Southern Philippines. But you don't deal with the hatred and you don't deal with the malice a lot of people have. It's like I never grew up around that when I was in the States, and this got worse and worse over, I would say, the past 10 years. It's just gotten worse. And you know, I don't really talk about politics, but people say different. The last president brought it out, or he was this, he was that. And I just tell people, for me, it's, if you will, it's always been there. It's not something any one individual can make anyone worse at. You know, it's not like he arrived on the scene and everybody became racist. You know.
So that was because you and your wife reverted to Islam?
No, I mean, we had already planned on moving. She had reverted. I'd reverted long before any of that, but we had planned on moving to the Philippines regardless.
Oh, mashallah.
But then what was interesting, if you know my backstory, is, you know, if y'all ask, so I'm telling you, Didn't plan on it, but when I went through, I was married for 13 years, went through a really bad divorce when I first started my agency up before. And when I went through my agency, it's growing it, getting ready to scale it, started hiring people, and then went through a really bad divorce, got depressed as most guys do, and lost pretty much everything. Same time that I was going through my divorce is when my wife went to from Philippines to Saudi. She worked for the Sheikh of Saudi.
Oh, okay.
And she reverted during Ramadan when I was going through my divorce, and that around that same time is whenever I reverted. And then, 6 years ago is when I actually came over here, met her, flew her back from Saudi to the Philippines, and then within 3 months had our visa. I had talked to her for probably a good year and a half, 2 years prior to that. So I've known her for a while. I knew her, I'm 43. I knew her when she was 23, 26, something like that. So I've known her for a bit. But yeah, that's my backstory, so I have many reasons people don't like me. I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, but then you make new friends.
Yep. That's what I
You
thought.
lose some, you win some.
You
So
lose some
it's
and
a
you
fine
gain some.
balance.
Yeah. And I
Thank
still
you
have.
for sharing.
You're welcome. So that's a little bit about me. I still love my states. I still, there are days like today I wake up, I miss my family and stuff like that. So let's see what everybody else says. You left, yeah, Jeff left Australia. You got to hear his story. Whenever he talks about it, it's like, I mean, his story is even wilder than mine. I mean, he's got some stories. I'll put it that way. When he left Australia, he's basically F everybody. I'm going to the Philippines, to be happy. So, and, but we left, came here. I mean, I love it. It's like Florida, really. It's just hot and it's either rainy or hot. It's nothing any different. In Florida, where I lived, had the largest Filipino community. So that sort of thing. So can you see my quantum screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let's get started. What details do you want in the press release to discuss? So for example, let me pull up an article that I had written and we'll go from there. There are many ways of doing this. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let me pull up some articles. Busio. There we go. I don't see Paul in here today, which is unusual.
He told me he's gonna be 15 minutes late.
Hmm.
I'm sorry for not raising my
No,
hand.
it's okay. I'm just wondering because Paul's always in here too. So when you don't see certain people, you're like, where are they at? All right. So here's the blog we just published, and we just had Busio, right? It's eye healthcare. What foods can help you improve your vision? Details, explain the news or message you want to get out and the pertinent information we should mention. Basically, eyesight's your most blah, 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 right? It's about eyesight. This is the information I want to get out. It's about eye care. Mention eye care in here. Eyesight, healthy eyes. This is what the whole article's about. All right. So what's your theme? Recommend a theme. And you want to focus on, let's say, improving your vision. Improving your eye vision. So do you have any related photos for this specific, blog right here? And we're going to upload it right here. And I'll get that for you. Just. You can do a maximum of 5 files, but I only generally do one because I only want to do one featured one, and I'm going to pull the rest of them from another source. Category. This one's going to be health, right? What's the company? This is how you're going to see me actually enter it in, because I haven't actually entered in anything. So we're going to add a company. It's going to be Clearly Eye Care. All right, and this is where you got to go to their GMB, pull their information from the GMB, and you got to actually enter it in. This is why I wanted to actually just show y'all how to enter in the clients, how to do the whole process instead of just, hey, use Quantum Newswire. It's awesome. And here's why, just actually do it. If you have any questions while I'm doing this, just raise your hand and I will let you talk. This is Suite 200 or 200. This is United States. This is in good old Texas. This is in Round Rock. 78. Validate the address. Address is valid. Now, you can add in, you're going to want to add in as many of their handles as possible. So Facebook handle, Twitter handle, and Instagram if they got one. And in this case, she does not. And her email address. And her phone number.
William, do you mind if I ask something?
Go ahead.
So a press release, we can do it like without really needing to having to announce something. It will be just a regular post that we are transforming it into a press release.
I do it a couple of ways. So when I do a press release, I'm actually doing, I have, let's say for instance, I'll have 2,000 words minimum written for a client on a monthly basis by Busio or another content writer. And then, give me 1 second. And then, give me 1 second because I'm just in the middle of this. So I'll have 2,000 words worth of blogs written, and they're actual blogs. And then what I'll do is I'll combine those blogs. Each blog is 500 words, 500 words, 500 words, 500 words once a week. Then I'll take all that. That'll be 2,000 words. I'll take those 2,000, those 4 blogs, combine them as one, and make them into one giant press release, right? And then I hyperlink them. One of the ways I do it is I hyperlink them back to the blogs that they originally came from. Display phone number, yes. Display email, yes.
You're saying that throughout the press release, you have you'll have one big one, and if you've got the 4 blogs, like at one point you'll hyperlink to blog 1. Okay.
I'll show you, because what I tend to do is, for example, if you're going to go, let's say for example, I need and here's the maximum. For instance, this press, quantum, if you have agency, which is what generally most people have, the lifetime deal, you can put 2,500 words of content out, right? So I want to use it to the maximum. If I have, and on top of you're paying $10 every time you do a press release. So give me one second. So my thought is I don't want to come in here and let me just drop in a 500 word press release or even a 700 word press release. Let me do the maximum I can handle. So what I'll do is if I, for instance, February, the first week of February, I did one, I did, let's say, give me one second. If I did, for instance, I did, so I just added the company. Now you're choosing the article. But for instance, in week 1, I did a 500 word blog. Week 2, I did a 500 word blog. Week 3, I did another 500. Week 4, I did another 500. I don't put all of those on Quantum. You can if you want, and you got money to just throw at it. But someone like me, I go, okay, I want to take and do the maximum benefits. So I want at least 2,000 words, or at least something that's going to amount to something. Well, one you're going to see today is only going to be 500 words. So what I'll do is I'll take all of those blogs up to 2,500 words and combine them as one giant press release. And then I will create hyperlinks. One of the ways I do it, I create hyperlinks inside of my press release, which you're going to see, that will link back to places like he showed, the GMB, but specifically there's 4 blogs or service area pages, deep pages that are about your services, but never my homepage. I'll never do towards my homepage. I never do it. I do interlinking, and then I do service pages, stuff like that. And then let's go here. You want the main channel. You can do Alexa and Google Assistant. I don't ever do it, never have done it. Give me one second. This is if you're trying to request them to actually write a press release for you, and this is, I wanted to show you this. So I requested a press release. This is what I want them to talk about. This is, I'm giving them a topic. This is an image, right? What category, what company is it for? What's their information? How many words do I want it to be? You can choose up to here, all the way to 2,500. How many days do you want it to take? I want it to be, in one day. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to cost you more and more credits the faster you want it. So let's say if I want it to take every 30 days, I want an article. It'll still cost a ton if you do 2,500 words. Less words, obviously less money, but even that's still a lot more money than I would tell you Boostio is going to charge you. But once you do all this and you choose main channel, then you can hit submit as a campaign, which is multiple, they're going to publish every so many days, or you can do publish as a single press release. I never do this. It's just too expensive for me. So that's just not something I'm going to do. Now, if I go to create it from scratch and write it for myself, I'm going to do that next. Harley, go ahead.
I've heard you in the past, and just a few minutes ago, you said you never link back to your homepage. Can you tell me why?
For one, I'm trying to get them to go to my services pages, not necessarily my homepage. I'm trying to get my inner pages ranked. Your homepage is what most people will rank back or link back to, and it's one of the few things I've seen most SEOs agree upon. Really, is don't really link back to your homepage. Most people put all their links onto their homepage, and that's just not something I've ever done. You can do some, but I just would not go. Let's say if you're going to do 1,000 backlinks over, let's say, a year's time, just make a percentage of them going towards your homepage, not necessarily all of them. And a lot of people just send all of them to the homepage, and that's about it. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. I'm going to answer a couple of questions before I show you number 2. How many posts a month would I recommend? If you got the money, 4 at minimum, a minimum of 500 words each. If you can afford it, I would do articles that are 1,000+ words each. Press release had to be when you want to announce something. No. It does not have to be something you're going to announce and say, hey, such and such is now opening, or here's a brand new feature. But a press release, you can't come into a press release and talk about yourself. You can't do that. A lot of times they'll get rejected when you do that. But what you can do is come in and talk about in this sense, how do you improve your eye care? Let me we announce a price rise, new stock, new staff. No, it does not have to be, but you can do it that way. And Jeff, he has so many damn newsletters that he puts out. That's exactly what he does, is he takes his newsletters and breaks them into press releases and blog posts, etc. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed to show you the next step. So if you actually have a blog like we do, and we're going to push it out ourselves, I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay, so we already have Clearly Eye Care set up in here. And I've done some of these for another client. And here's the other reason why I won't do just a little $500, 500 word rinky dink press release or blog, is because whenever you combine it and use it through Quantum, and it's, let's say, 2,000 words, I've seen the search engines pick them up within days, if not hours, just because it's long tail content, and people love long content no matter what everybody says, and the search engines especially love it. So we're going to create it from scratch. Then we go create it from scratch. It's going to say, what company do you want it for? Well, I'm going to use Clearly Eye Care. It's going to populate their information here, their logo here. It's going to show you their Google Maps. Okay. It's going to display a map for you. A map display will be embedded after the contact information paragraph with your desired pin location. You can enter in the pin location and everything. The contact details automatically appear. All right, it's automatically appearing. This will appear in the actual press release. Okay. Headline. What do I want the headline to be? Your primary headline and your blog headline cannot be the same, right? It cannot even be, it has to be a little bit different. It can't be exact. It can't be, it's like about 60%, I believe. It has to be different. Yep, 60% different from the headline. So this one says eye health, what foods can help to improve vision. This one says eyesight is our most vital sense, and without it, we might not feel complete. Where do I get this information? I get it just from my blog. I have, this is how I do it specifically. Your content is your actual article, right? And we're going to go through, I already have hyperlinks and everything in here. So this is just me, how I do it. I first create things inside of the website. And I've never had them rejected. If they are ever rejected, you'll get a notification from Quantum, right? This article is only 647 words. So, but this is just to show y'all how we're going to, how we would do it. So for example, now we got our article in here. It's telling you can use up to 2,500 words, nothing over it. Embedded image, at least 10. Embedded video, you can use video in it as well, at least, up to 3. Anchor text, you can have up to 10 links in here for your anchor text. Okay, an anchor text. What is anchor text? Anchor text is, for example, this text right here being linked out to, you know, in this case, AOA, which is the American Optometric Association. And I'm using those because it brings in authority. FYI, because a lot of people say you shouldn't be linking to other people if you want them to come to your website. Not true if you want some authority coming in as well. And I'm using a link over to our website at Clearly Eye Care, right? But your article pretty much has to give some sort of value. It's kind of like, the best way I can explain it is when someone comes in and they want to tell you about, for instance, hey, I'm a marketer. You just friended me on Facebook, and the first thing they do, they come and say, hey, I help, you know, agency owners just like yourself go to 7 figures, and they have not gotten to know you. They haven't told you anything, you know, about, you know, for instance, how can they, you know, ways to improve web design or SEO, or you haven't given no value. An article or a press release should be the same. It should be not really, it's talking about yourself, but it's not talking about yourself. Okay. Like, what type of benefits can we get from eye care? But, you know, we don't really spend, I mentioned it here, like here at Clearly Eye Care, our rockstar optometrist, but I don't sit there and go, the whole article's not, our press release ain't about Clearly Eye Care, Clearly Eye Care. We're the best. We're the best. You know, we could help you. You know, we'll improve your eye care. It's all about how can you improve your eye care. Okay. Now, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my GMB, and I'm going to go over to the posts. Can you see my screen with Clearly Eye Care? Thumbs up if you can. Okay. So this is Round Rock posts. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to copy this image. Right click. You see the post, you right click, copy image. Go back over to Quantum. Control V. That's all I did. Right click, copy image. Go back in, Control V. We're going to do this on a couple of them, so don't, you know. Copy image. Control V, and it drops that image in there. These images are linked to your CID. So there's a reason why we're doing it. The whole point of doing this is to get your rankings, some, you know, like I told you before, is to get your GMB signals up. Get your GMB signals up, and then we're good. Okay, so there's that. Then I can do one step further. We got 2 for the CID in there. And then we can even go into, let me pull some bit.ly links. And we got the bit.ly link here. So that was my last post I did, which was 3 days ago. And then I'll even just drop a straight link into the actual content, not actually even linking it to text or anything, because I have multiple links in here linking out to text. I have my GMB signals in here already. Then I'll go up here and say, for instance, I'm going to pull a title or H1 header. Like, for instance, how do these foods improve your vision? And then I'll go to the schema button, you know, and let's say health topic content schema, and I choose that and hit add schema type. You can even do local business. It just depends on what your article's about. So now this has schema coming in. All right. You can add in anchor tags, but I already did the schema. It's recommended content should use first person language, me, my, mine, etc. Should not use this language, right? It's not going to reject it just because you do it, but it's just telling you, you know, if you want more people to accept it, don't use too much language where you're talking about me, we. How about that? Just talk about the subject. So what's the summary going to be about? The summary is pretty much, what is this article about? You know, can't contain too many words. So you have to come in here and kind of edit it down so it doesn't contain everything. Now this cannot look, see, you cannot have the same type of summary. Can't look the same. So you can't just grab something and say, let me throw this in there and hope it works. So I edit it, changed what I wanted to say. And in this case now, the first one says eyesight's our most vital sense, and without it, we need blah, 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 blah. Second one, blog summaries, your diet has an important impact on the quality of your eyesight. But I'm using the keywords and about eye care and eyesight in both of them, right? I hit continue. You're gonna, if you want a featured article just being, for example, this, which is just an image, eye care doctor getting an eye exam. I want it to go out to the main channel. Main channels, it lists them out. These are all news outlets. They're very authoritative news outlets. You have some Fox and different things in here. You can use Alexa. You can do a signal boost. Signal boost is an advanced proprietary signature, blah, blah, blah. And basically it helps get you more GMB and authority signals. You can do that, but you got to determine, is it worth the money to you? Because it's $10 per 10 credits. So you're looking at $50 extra just to do this one post. Right, then we're going to enter in category. Category is going to be health in this sense. Publish date, let's publish it tomorrow. What publish time? I'll use in the morning, right around this time when people are getting up, or right before lunchtime when they might be going to, in this case, the eye doctor, or wanting to go check out some glasses. The cost of the certification, and then the cost of the editorial review is going to cost you 10 credits. So $10 every time you go to do one of these is what you're looking at. And still very cheap. You can go on Fiverr, and I'm going to show y'all another one that I have used. And, you know, I don't ever usually recommend quote unquote Fiverr, but I have some people that I have tested and tried, and I know they do good work. Therefore, I'll use them. Even with him, you're still looking at about $25 for what he does. So it's more expensive even going that way.
I have a question. I don't have a thing where it lets me put my hand up for some reason on my screen.
Go ahead.
So this is it. You're in the Philippines, and on our screen it's showing it's gonna post on the 13th at 11, which is Saturday.
Yeah, which is they're open on Saturday. So
okay, so it's okay to do the weekend?
Yeah, you can choose whatever day you want.
Okay.
You know, me, you gotta understand, y'all, you know, for me, Saturday's already gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Friday's here and already basically started. And, you know, it's the next day for me is Saturday. Like when I fly, you know, right now it's already Friday morning. It's y'all's Thursday night. So.
Okay. So it doesn't make a difference, like a specific day is better than another, and
not in my opinion. I just say, for instances, think about it this way. In this case, when do most people go to the eye care doctor? When people are thinking about it would be when they're waking up or right before lunchtime. When are most people looking at their cell phone and, you know, on social media? And it varies per industry. There are quote unquote industry standards, but the fact is, even those industry standards could vary from person to person. Paul, you had your hand up, bud?
Just, is there a template so I can hand this to our copywriter, or should I just go through it once, start marking down what I'm going to need?
Yes, you're going to have, that's why I wanted to do it. So you could have a SOP.
Gotcha. Pretty
much. If you want to take this and make it into a SOP, then that would be good. And I will be publishing this as soon as we're done. Yep. So then we just hit continue, and it's showing you what the article is going to look like. It's got my links in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 links, 5 links. This is all pulling in GMB. This is another link. This is another link. Publish PR, Round Rock, Clearly Eye Care. Now it's going to sit in pending until it's approved. Once it's approved, you see this little gear over here? This gear, once it's approved, you can click on it and it will say report. I could take that report and send it over to my agencies or send it over to my clients, and then they can go, oh, awesome. And and most people, this is the way it is, oh, awesome. I was published in all these news outlets, and they're amazed. The good benefits, I know Lane went over it, is these press releases last about 90 days. So as long as I'm doing one at least a month, I'm good. I am going to show you the other place and other person I use, and I will send you, I'll add the link inside of the back end of the course and everything. That way you can see it. But this is Quantum. Okay, this is your SOP for Quantum. Really, if you're looking for a SOP, that would be your SOP for Quantum. Let me look at this. And if you order content from them, do you get changed? Go back. No. You have to, in regards to the article, you have to give them everything you want. And once you give them everything you want, they write the article for you. You don't get the ability to go back in and edit it and change it, not from my knowledge. If you have if you need Lane's contact information, email me and I'll send you Lane's contact information. Matter of fact, I'll just add it in the back end too. Do I link out to authority websites? Yes, on my service pages and on my blogs. I don't obviously go in and just drop a bunch of different authority links unless it's on my location pages, which there are people, for instance, on your location pages where I have it set up things to do, places to go. Then you can also put on the very bottom, you can also have demographics. You know, if you will, what's the demographics for Round Rock and stuff like that. That's just stuff I've not done, but I may do it if I have to. So next place. So Busio, you can order contact from. There's one more contact I just found and I'm testing her out. And if she does a really good job, I'm going to be dropping that information to y'all as well, because she's even more affordable in my case than Busio, and does, you know, very long blogs very fast. So we'll see how good they are. I've just seen it too many times where people say they're awesome and then they're not. But let me go over to Fiverr, and I'm going to give you, I'm going to put this in the back end of, you know, the class, so y'all can see who I order from. When it comes to, you don't have Quantum Press Wire, you don't want to pay all the money that it takes, because these things will require money and can be a tad expensive sometimes, but to me it's worth it, especially with Quantum and increasing GMB signals. But I'm going to give you my guide that I use. I'm going to show you the if you will, the gig. It's been a while since I've had to order from him, so I'm just going through looking for it. Here we are. Let me pull this up for you. News. And that way y'all can go on here, and if you don't want to use Quantum, you can, and you can do articles just the same. It's syndicating a press release. It also includes, on this one, the only reason I like it better is it includes Google News. It's not just these sites, but it also includes Google News. And I'm going to show that to you. So this is on Fiverr. It's a press release distribution, and I've used him many times. The basic gig is only $10, which is the equivalent of what Quantum does as far as price. He does not put your Google map in there. He does not put your CID images. He does not do any of that stuff. You're not going to get all the GMB signals. All you're going to get is what backlinks do you want linking into what text. That's really it. If you want images and stuff, sometimes you can contact them and say, hey, can you drop this image or video in, and he'll do it. So now that's just the basic. Then you have the standard, which is $20, and it goes up to 250 news sites. Google News, Digital Journal, and social media promotion. Then he has one that's $40, and that's 400 news sites. The problem I've had with these is, like Elaine has talked about before, most of these for me have only lasted 30 days. After 30 days, they drop off planet Earth. So if you want to use them, you could use them. You're just not going to get as much power and juice, if you will, from them. The other thing I'm going to have in the back end of the site as well, you'll see, is I got a list that I put together for y'all where I go over, these are press release websites that you can use. Can you see my screen? So there's about 50 of them in here. It's like 44 of them. And I mark, are they free or are they paid? Dollar signs mean you got to pay for them. Free obviously means free. Problem with most of these, once again, they're going to last about 30 to 60 days or less. And you have to individually go to each site and submit a press release. And this is all manual versus me going to, if you will, Fiverr and saying, hey, here's my, and with Fiverr, here's my backlinks. Here's my article, and he does it, and he does his thing, and you can do an express one-day delivery, and he has it done within a day. You know, that's for if you don't have Quantum Newswire. I would always suggest using Quantum Newswire, because since I've started using it, it's been a real help regarding my GMB signals. Because if you've ever looked at, and I'm going to show you, if you've ever looked at Local Falcon, if you don't know what GMB signals are, I'll get to you in a second, Javed. If you don't know what signals are, I'll show you why signals are important. So I could take, for instance, any one of these. Let's go for this cosmetic, you know, let's go to, let me go to somebody here. Let's go to this guy. This is a scan report. And what you can look at when you do these reports, you can look at your competition, right? And it's telling me how many data points do I have versus, which we're still looking good because he was completely red, and now he's pulling some greens and lighter greens and oranges in, which is still good if you don't see that. I love it. But nevertheless, so to be the #1 guy, you need 169 data points, right? You need 169 data points, and right now I'm at 134, which means all I need to get into these top ones above 9 is I need about another 40 data points, and then I'm kicking everybody's ass. So the reason why I go to Quantum is because I know what type of data signals it's sending in here. And this is another reason why I say sending data signals out via proximity signals and via posts and sharing your posts and putting your posts and backlinking and doing all that crap I'm talking about is because I'm trying to increase my data points. Most people are not going to share with this stuff with you because, for instance, okay, well, SEO, you got to do the technical SEO and do all this. For me, it's okay, what is this guy doing? What is Phoenix Electricians doing that I'm not doing? And with this report, I can see very well what I'm doing versus what this guy is doing. You know, and I can click on his little link and I can go over here and I can look at all his reviews. How many reviews does he have? I can go, okay, how many reviews do I have? I can, if you will, reverse engineer both of this, right? This guy's got 74 reviews. I've got 82. So it's not the reviews, right? Is he responding to his reviews? I can look at all this. No, he ain't even responding. Yeah, he responds here, but he's not consistent with it. You know, I can look at all this information and kind of figure out what is he doing that I'm not doing. You know, is he posting? What are the web results? He's on Better Business Bureau, or he's on Phoenix Consumer Affairs, which means he's pulling in local data signals from Phoenix. Phoenix Electricians Today. You see all this stuff? This is all like extremely freaking important because this is a local news. This is Better Business Bureau, which is local, pulling from Phoenix. And then this is Phoenix Consumer Affairs, all of which is not only going to give them high authority, it's also local authority. So then if I go over here and look at mine, which we have started with this guy 30 days ago, nope, I got Home Advisor. So it tells me, hey, I need to get the data signals that's going to be pulling that they're really important are from these dudes right here. And then I can also pull up the backlink report, which I've also shown y'all as well. But I really wanted to show y'all why data signals are important because like this, I'm in 79% of the results. Still not bad for the past 30 days, really. But I want to be up here. And so this is going to tell me how many more data signals I need to get there. So I hope that helps y'all in regards to that. Let me go to Javed first because he's had his hand up for a while. Go ahead, Javed.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Number one, with Quantum Newswire, I was looking at their plans. Now, the starter plan is $150 per month, and you get the 65 credits. The order that you just did, that was 15 credits. So that means that then I would only be able to do about 4 PR orders.
Correct.
Okay.
But even like I was showing you, even with Fiverr, when I'm doing it, it's costing me almost $25 per order.
Yeah, I don't know if you have heard of Magic PR. I've used them, and their basic plan comes with $100, and it's a one-time order.
Yeah, send me the link, and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, this is a lot better actually.
Most of them. If you watch Lane's presentation of Quantum, he went over most of the competition, and most of the competition is not even a candle next to this. So,
I had one more other question.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry. In that local Falcon, all that data sets that it was doing the calculation for you, one, is there a list of all of that data sets that it does the calculation?
Nope.
And two,
not that I've seen. So now if you find it, I'd love to see it.
Oh, me too. Number 2 question I had was, have you ever seen them being incorrect where have you noticed a GMB is ranking higher with less data sets?
Nope. And that's why it uses DBA platform, which is the same thing Viking uses. And DBA is something totally, it's basically just the platform everybody uses to pull the signals from is all it is really. But they both use the same. Local Falcon is just something for me. I just do it for the reports. Local Viking is basically GMB management. And I've had people accuse me of, well, I only push it because I'm getting paid for it. I don't get paid for Local Falcon. I don't have nothing. And then I have nothing against the creators of Local Viking, like I've been accused of either. I just don't use it, and I use VAs to do the posts and everything else, and I have a system in place versus I'm going to use a software to do everything, and then I don't have a system. So hopefully that answers your questions. Yes, sir, Mr. Devon.
It's Devin. I just let it ride on you. That's been my whole life. It's fine. I'm just curious about these data signals that you're talking about, because I only have ever used the heat map for lead generated before, and so I didn't know if that's that feature that you're talking about that's different.
Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, I can't really tell you the different things that are coming out because I was given a presentation that no one else has seen. So, but I know he's coming out with a lot of stuff that's gonna pretty much high level, can't touch it. I mean,
yeah, I know Patrick's stuff is like bulletproof compared to what's out there, but that's why I'm just not familiar with data signals like that with finding
I
out.
mean, this, if you
who's
think of
finding
it, if you
people.
think of it this way, I mean, to me, the only way to explain it, what is a backlink? It's a data signal. That's all it really is. It's basically a signal saying, and I explain it to clients almost this way, well, you could say it this way, hey, depending on what you want to believe, but when you vote in a country, your vote counts, and the more votes you get, you should actually become, if you will, president per se. And that's the way Google kind of is. The more votes or backlinks you get, the more authority votes you have from, if you will, different people or different websites, then the higher you rank. Is it a niche? Is it a niche? Is it local? Is it a local backlink? A niche local? Is it a niche authority national site? Stuff like that. And the GMB signal is kind of the same thing. Like I was showing you just with that Arizona, I could show you all the backlinks on the other end because we're already outreaching to those same websites, where basically they're all data signals and local signals. I already know where all the local signals are coming from, mainly because I could do reverse engineering and go, okay, where's all your backlinks coming from? And then find out where the backlinks are coming from, then break it down and say, okay, which ones of these backlinks are actually local? And now let's go after those local backlinks, because I know where his authority is coming from. If you looked at, was the Better Business Bureau, the Phoenix Consumer Affairs, and then the other Phoenix, News. So, but that's what a data signal really is. It's just a backlink or information that's coming in locally.
Okay, makes sense now. I'm totally picking it up now.
Yep. So for instance, it's the same thing with click-through rate manipulation. Is basically how many people are liking your posts on GMB, how many people are sharing it. Those are all like social signals. How many people like it, how many people share it, how many people comment, all that jazz on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Those are all signals. So how you doing, Lou?
Oh, loving it, man. Loving it. I had a question. So I've never understood Web 2.0. And is this what this quantum physics press wire trip thing does? Or is that totally unrelated?
Totally different. Totally different. And you could go, I mean, we'll get into it much later because we're going to set up, some people will say they work. Some people say they don't work or don't work as good as they used to, but we're going to set up, I'm going to show you how to set up a public blog network or a PBN network eventually. But that's much later because it's a long process. It's not just, hey, let me throw together a PBN and it's all done. It's, if your client's an electrician in Texas or let's say Dallas, let me go buy 10 different websites. They're all about news in Dallas, electrical news, and let me create 10 different websites.
Yeah. That's what that Phoenix electrician looked like, a PBN, because it was like Phoenix Electrician News.
Yeah.
It's a little specific, Not a lot of readers for that one.
No. Go ahead, Javid.
Yeah, was that data set or data signal in the local Falcon? I'm just looking for the exact wording of it so I can
give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. But I've always just said data signals, but I'm also a little dyslexic, I think. So
I thought it was data set.
It might be data set, but I call them signals. So I might be correct. Let's just pull one here. Oh, I love it. My green, I love it. Nope, data points. Data points. Yeah.
Okay.
Or data signals, data points. Love it. But yeah, any other questions? I'm gonna open it up because we're done with that one for the day. Lou, you have another question or just had your hand
it's
up?
just so is there any way to get because again, I didn't sign up for the quantum press wire thing because it's just out of my budget right now, but is there any way to just get the GMB signal portion of that and kind of do it on a budget? I mean,
the only way to do it on a budget is by hiring someone that's an agency to handle your clients, really. For instance, every one of my clients get at least one press release a month. And I'm kind of excited for my clients because if this one content writer really works out for me, I can go away from what I was using. I was using Busio and he charges me basically, let's say $20 for 500 words. And it's a good article, but this woman had charged me $20 for 2,000 words.
Jeez.
So, and if that's the case, I'll be pumping those out instead of 500 words. And then instead of getting the 500 words, every one of my clients will be getting 2,000 word press release and blog a month. And then what'll happen, as I've already told you, I'll take those blogs, split them up into 4, and then I'll combine them as one giant press release. And then I'll also use that same blog as obviously micro content on other posts and other GMB posts specifically. Go ahead, Jarek.
The question I have is because the PR releases only stay online for 60, to 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to maintain them on the monthly basis in order to make sure you're okay? Because I guess once it goes down,
that's whenever someone's with me, I tell them, say we're putting them out once a month, period. And then we send all those reports, to our clients for their clients, or, whenever I'm doing a single client, but our agencies get all of that. And like I said, once I hear back from this lady, I'm excited. If she does what she promises she could do, that's a game changer for me, in regards to getting even more GMB signals. So now I'll go from doing one blog, if you will, a month to I'll be able to say, I'm going to give you 4 blogs a month, same price and everything. So go ahead. I don't know your name besides Ellipsis SEO and payments. So,
it's me, Nasos. I'm sorry.
Nasos.
I have my agency.
Okay, Nasos.
I'm from Greece for if someone is wondering where I am from, but I live in the States, and I'm a friend of Paul. That's my passport. So I wanted to ask you, when you are quoting it, how much you're quoting every? First of all, sorry for asking that. Is it okay if I ask you how much you're quoting for this to a customer approximately?
You can ask that. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna end the quote unquote. This is outside of the class, obviously.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay because I'm finding a lot of y'all agency owners. So for the most part, $800 a month. $800 a month is what I do my SEO packages for. All right. Once, but $800 a month, you're getting with me, you're getting the local SEO, you're getting the backlinking, you're getting the black hat stuff, you're getting the press releases, you're getting the website maintenance, you're getting the reporting. A local agency will get reporting for all their clients. You just have to tell me, hey, I want local Falcon or I want specific reports, because I'll send 4 and 5 reports. Month 1, I have a set of reports. It basically says, here's all the stuff we did. Month 2 is here's all we did. And my stuff includes all of it. I don't go, hey, here, it's extra to do this. Now, what I normally do, and some of the agencies I do work with will know this, is one press release comes with it. If you want more than one blog, if you want more than one blog a month, then it's extra a month. And we can do that. My web design is only $350 a month, and not $350 a month, $350 one time. I'm sorry. Now that's not for e-commerce. E-commerce, it goes up. So, but if you look at anything that I put out there, for SEO, I know in the States, when I was there, just to do on-page SEO, not GMB posting, not the backlinking to the GMB, none of the other nice bells and whistles I throw in there, is over $1,000 a month at minimum. I know people that won't touch anybody for less than 5,000 plus a month. So, and they get it. But a lot of the agencies will come to me. I white label. If you look at most of my clients, over half of my clients are agencies. So, you know, and we deal with, if you will, being modest, we deal with over 100. So
I was referring to with a press release. Which is what is the equivalent if a competitor is doing what, a guest post, or what is the equivalent?
I've seen no equivalent, because guest posts are totally different. Guest posts are totally different. Like blog commenting, that's totally different. All of those are different tactics, and all of those are done with black hat tactics. None of them are quote unquote white hat. You're the only, if you're buying a post to put on a site, it's black hat. It's just that simple. They don't want you to do any buying of posts or anything like that. Now, if you've seen in my Excel sheet, one of which I have on here is very good for, but can get very expensive, is Help a Reporter Out, or HARO, which is number 14 here. And it's pretty expensive, but it's pretty good. If I was going to pick any one of these out and say stick with one of them, it would be HARO. You know, this one right here is the one I would say is like gold. It is not, you know, you need to have blog outreach. You need to have someone that actually knows what they're doing. You can't just go, you know, for instance, in this case, you can't just go, let me just email this person and think it's going to be all fine and dandy. But that should answer your questions. Any other questions? Javid.
I had a couple of questions in regards to the quantum site. With that starter plan, it says that I can add up to 3 clients. Could I remove clients and add other clients whenever I feel like, or like if I were to remove a client, will all my news, PR, and everything get deleted? Or
you have to ask Lane about that one. I don't do that, so. And I could imagine it. They probably do have something set up where, I'm just guessing, but they probably do have something set up where if you were to delete clients that you had in there, it would either remove articles, or at best it wouldn't allow you to, because the whole point in any business is, hey, here's 3, let me give you a taste, so you have to add more and you have to pay me more. I mean, it's just, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. But another question I said, all right, do I have clearly set up the Quantum WordPress plugin? I do not, mainly because I also am privy to some information with Quantum. They are going to, which he actually mentioned the other, last session, is they're going to be coming out with the rooms as well, because the Quantum, what happens with Quantum's WordPress plugin is when WordPress or your theme updates, it will cause it to break. Because if you know anything about WordPress updates and some of your plugins will break. And so what will happen is Quantum's WordPress plugin, depending on what theme you use, will sometimes break. Therefore, I don't do it that way. And on top of it, I don't do it that way because of the other fact of the matter is I already take my blogs and I use them as press releases, and I don't have a reason to put it in there as a press release per se. That's just me. But when he comes out with these rooms, I can't wait to see the press rooms. So, and I'll look at doing it with that one. It's actually, instead of it going directly, and here's how they're resolving, if you will, the breaking. From what I remember, instead of it being, let's say, just on your website as a WordPress plugin, it would be, let's say, it'd be press.rankfortress.com. And that would be the link to your press room. Can you submit a 2,500 word article from 5 blogs in same niche, linking back to different sites? You have to just have them set up as different clients. Inside of Quantum, they would each need to be their own, each site has to be their own client. In one sense, if you want the GMB signals and all that coming back to you, you're going to need to have them set up as one client. Now, can I do a 2,500 word article and just slap 5 different links in there to 5 different websites? Yes, I can. I could put in whatever link I want, but the whole point is to get GMB signals to your specific website with that GMB embedded map and anything else you put in there, such as videos, etc. Will you tell us who I use on Fiverr? I'm actually going to put that link in the back end or underneath the, the lesson today whenever I upload it. I use him, and he's about anywhere from $20 to $40 every press release. You cannot do the GMB maps. You will not get the GMB, if you will, signals that you get. You will get the backlinks though. And besides that, his reports are pretty little reports, and it has an icon for every single news, website it sends it to. You just click on it and you can see the actual news link. I haven't used him in a good while, but I have his information still. Any other questions before we get off here? All right, it was good, guys, and I will see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Thanks, William.
All right, yeah, have a good one. Yes,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
See how we're going.